Whoops. Here we go.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, sorry. Yeah, I had my thing off. Wasn't working properly,
Oh,
but now it's working.
yeah. Okay.
Hey, so
So
I'm
how?
actually I'm calling you and I'm streaming this on the internet too at the same time. So, by the way,
You're on. Yeah.
the internet, yeah, nobody's really watching, but it's going to be on the internet. So, anyway, if I play this for you, can you
Hello,
hear
Jason.
this?
Wolves and Keith
Hello?
Ellison.
Yeah, Jim, just let him, because he was talking.
Oh, what were you saying, Jason?
Can you hear this if I play this? Listen to this.
Limiting the number of people here. There are thousands stuck outside, only 250 people.
Did you hear that?
No.
No.
Okay, you didn't hear anything. All right, never mind. Yeah, I guess I can't really play video for you to listen to at the same time. But so what's new with you guys?
Well, Trump is moving up. He's closing the so-called gap with Biden.
The so-called gap. There's a gap.
Well, they claim that Biden is ahead.
What do you think about was it Minnesota rally that they only let 250 people go?
Well, Trump had thousands of people there, so he
I know
gave the middle finger to the governor.
Yeah, it's really funny. It's kind of weird though because the federal government is supposed to be able to enforce the First Amendment, but the
True.
the states
It's in the Constitution.
what's the word? Usurped them. The state usurped.
State, what all this is, the Democrats using their powers over health are trying to preempt our Bill of Rights. And when it comes to Trump, they don't want him to have big crowds because they can't get big crowds.
Oh, of course not. Yeah.
All right, let me tell you this state. First of all, take Minnesota. Now, both candidates are going to Minnesota, right? They have been going to. Why? Because for the first time since 1972, it's in contention, okay? And why is it in contention? Well, first of all, Minneapolis was falling apart, being destroyed, and then Trump came to the rescue with the National Guard, right? So some people in that neighborhood might say, we better have Trump in the White House. We don't want this to keep on going on, right? Then there is the Iron Range. There was a depression in the Iron Range developed during the Obama administration because the Chinese were dumping steel in the United States, and the American steel industry was devolving into practically nothing. Trump established the tariffs on Chinese steel, and well, of course, on all steel. And as a result, the steel industry has come back to life, including in the Iron Range. Some Democratic council people and mayors in the Iron Range have endorsed Trump because he has brought their economy back to life. Now, those are two heavily Democratic areas. If the Democrats can't produce substantial margins in those areas for their party, Trump wins. Minnesota.
Yeah. But there's a big steel industry in Minnesota.
It used to be. It's coming back to life now under Trump.
Oh, that's what's going on.
There was a depression in the steel industry in Minnesota because of the dumping of steel by the Chinese in the United States and other countries. So a country cannot survive in warfare if they don't have a steel industry.
Mm-hmm.
You need steel to produce tanks, etc. You can't have your tanks and other equipment dependent on other countries. You got to produce it yourself if you're going to be a great power. And Trump understands that.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that what's crazy though is that China has been saying that we're just going to dump steel on your country and kind of destroy it. And I've been talking to one of my friends. He said that Trump doesn't understand how tariffs work. And
yeah, right.
he was saying it's not a good weapon to use against China to cripple them. And I had to say he's not using tariffs to cripple China. He's using tariffs to bring industry back to America.
Right, to protect the United States.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with like trying to destroy China's economy.
Do you know what the period when we had the greatest industrial growth in our country, the most rapid industrial growth, was during and after the Civil War until around the 1920s.
Mm-hmm.
That we had high tariffs then.
Yeah.
That protected the steel industry. The U.S. Steel was the biggest corporation in the world.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, U.S. Steel. It's nothing now, but
Japan has their own steel company.
I don't even know whether it still exists.
Yeah, where I'm living in Japan, they have a big steel industry as well too.
Mm-hmm.
It's of course a Target. Yeah.
I hope they're not accepting Chinese steel.
No, they make their own steel here. I mean, there's a big steel mill where I live, so in Oita. So the name of the company is called Shinitetsu.
Right.
But
now, I'll give you an example. Now, let's say we had Japan's an ally, and our steel industry became nothing.
Well, it was about to. It was on its way to becoming nothing. You know, it was being shut down. If Trump didn't get in, it would have been gone under Hillary Clinton. Apparently.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If you don't, one of the famous quotes that Trump said, "If you don't have steel, you don't have a country." And that's true.
He's right. Exactly. So he's been great for our country, and I only wish the American people would realize that. Oh, I'll give you some bright points. 4 years ago, I used to go around with my hat, my Trump hat, yes, and my Trump shirt sometimes. And some people would come up to me and say, "I like your hat. I like your hat," because they don't want to say that for Trump, right? Well, this year, far more people have come up to me and say, "I like your hat."
Oh, really?
Yes, and I think I only have maybe five.
Yeah, a lot of people this time.
5 Trump dollar bills left.
Only 5 Trump dollar bills left?
I had 100. So at least
you bought 100 of those Trump bills?
Yes. And every time somebody says they like my hat or they like my shirt, I give them a Trump bill, and they're so happy.
Oh, we were called ugly. I was just looking it up on my little laptop here. Ugly.
Who's calling you ugly?
Oh, he called them ugly.
Biden called us ugly. We're ugly.
Well, there were people outside his rally. There were more Trump people who just happened to show up with some signs.
Ugly. And then we were called something else.
His rally, and they outnumbered the people in his rally, and they were chanting.
So you're talking
he
to
called
your
them
ugly parents.
He called the Trump people ugly. Those ugly. It's amazing.
Kind of ridiculous. What? I don't even understand.
Yeah, well.
Well, the guy has a little bit of Alzheimer or dementia or something.
And he's also got a nasty personality, and he loses his temper quickly. So, you know.
That's a characteristic of older people who have lost control.
Yeah, sometimes. Oh, yeah. I listen to this Philadelphia station a lot. These guys are very funny, and they said Biden reminds them of the guy that screams at you when you were a kid. He comes out of his front door and he says, "Get off my lawn." That's like Joe Biden.
you know, like a ball. A ball ends up on the lawn. The kid runs after the ball.
Yes.
Yeah. And somebody comes out of their house and says, "Get off my lawn."
Yeah,
like an old geezer.
He is a little bit on the grouchy side now.
Yeah.
He wasn't like that 30 years ago.
Did you see how he said we made the Democratic Party made the best. I'm paraphrasing here, but he said the ultimate sorry, losing my words here. Electoral fraud system ever in American history.
Yes, he did. He said that.
Yeah.
They are the masters, but he didn't mean it. He meant probably the.
It was a Freudian slip. Yeah, I can find it.
He said it. He said it. They have the best fraud machine in the country.
Well, one of the best illustrations is if when you look at maps of where Trump supporters are in various states, you'll see that the Biden supporters, where they have the shading of the blue, they're just all around urban areas, the cities, and the rest of us, I guess, can just go to hell. It just the cities without the electoral college, the cities would absolutely control everything.
Yes, that's true.
And
Because they make up the by a narrow margin the popular vote in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Because so many people are packing there. It's a shame. But the cities would not exist without the farmers producing food for them. No farmers, no food. Something they should think about.
I hate it when they rant against oil and gas and corporations, because no corporation is going to lose its profit. So A, they'll pass it on to consumers. B, they'll move their plants to another country where things are more favorable. And then when the price of oil and gas raises, it's not just like your car. It's the trucks that bring the food to the cities. It's your heating, your air conditioning. So many things. These people have no idea what they're in for.
Well, look at California. They're just moving in the direction of Biden's green plan. They aren't going full scale like Biden promises to do. They're having blackouts in California. They're having the air conditioners don't work. No electricity in the heat of summer.
Well, that's what we would have. We'd have rolling blackouts.
Right.
Yep.
It'd be a mess. You don't want to imitate California, that's for sure. Oh, and they have forest fires because they don't manage their forests correctly. So it's all in the name of
together. I think the most
ignorant people who don't really
extensive
understand how
and
best to
inclusive
manage the environment.
voter fraud.
So if they get these weird ideas, they carry them out, and the average person pays the price.
Right. Here, let's I think. Hold on one second. Hello.
We're here.
Yeah. I think I can share this quote. I want you to hear this. Let me see if I can do this correctly. The quote. Hold on one second. I think I can change the audio for my computer to share the quote and then switch back to me. Let's see. The microphone. No, I don't think I can. I wish I could share you the quote. The full communications device. I didn't. No, I can't.
Who's the quote from?
I'm not sure where it's from. But I'm gonna have to figure out a way that I can do that in the future. Because right now I can only.
Oh, the eyeballs. How did they taste?
They were okay.
Did the kids like the eyeballs when they ate them? Or were they afraid to eat them?
Maybe if I put this on my. No, there's a lot of problems here.
Did you have the eyeballs move on the floor?
Oh yeah, we had those too. Yeah, thank you.
Did they like that?
Yeah. It's made in China though, so.
I know that's a bad thing.
Yeah, we
Terrible.
noticed that.
Well, the thing is, here's the thing with the catalogs: they don't tell you where it's made. So you order it, and then all of a sudden you find it's made in China. There should be a law that says in the catalog where it's made.
They're talking about the toys were made in China. That's true.
He's talking about the eyeballs that are toys are made in China. Inside the catalog, it doesn't tell you it's made in China.
Well, the eyeballs I picked up at CVS.
The ones that move?
Yes.
Oh, well.
That's what I was talking about.
Oh, so you saw it was made in China when you bought it?
Yes, Jim.
No. A lot of the things that are made in China, if you look in the catalog, they don't say they're made in China. Then when you get it in the mail, you see they're made in China.
Well,
let's see.
We'll get over this somehow. Yeah.
Let's see if I can. Hold on one second. let's
But
see if
the
you can
candy
hear this.
was
All right,
made in
Jim,
the United
stop talking
States.
a minute.
And
Let
just
him
so you
look.
know,
concentrate.
candy was made in the United States. They're not going to send candy
Jim,
from China.
stop talking.
Yes, dear.
No.
Did did you hear? Did you did you hear that?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out how this works.
Oh, the Trump mask. Are you going to wear that to school if Trump wins?
No, I didn't. I didn't wear it. I'm not gonna wear it.
Well, you could. No. We should have put one of those up in front of our house.
Did
or
you
something.
wear this year any of those masks that we sent you in school to let the kids know about Halloween this year?
You know what I did? I did wear the Dracula mask and wore the Dracula Bela Lugosi costume. You know, that was
Really?
yeah.
Where'd you get the costume?
It's not hard to do. All you need is was it Bela Lugosi? All you need is you know, a shirt and you're ready to go. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
don't
didn't have
know
a
whether
bow
this
tie,
thing
but I had a cape. I have a cape, and I printed out a medallion. But I didn't realize that was not his original costume. But yeah, I had a medallion too that I printed out and laminated. I got a laminator, so and I wore that, and the kids had a fun time. I made some children cry.
Yeah.
They were afraid of Bela Lugosi's face?
Yeah, no, I think any mask you put on, the kids are just afraid. Actually, I wore the mummy mask last time,
Last
and
year you wore it.
and they weren't as scared, but this time they were really scared of that mask. But I also brought a little Bluetooth speaker with me and played some creepy music when I came into the room. And I did a Dracula voice. I did a Bela Lugosi voice. It was like,
Oh my
hel-
gosh.
I was like, "Hello," you know. Like,
Oh gosh. you
I'm
scared me.
here. I was like, I'm not the vampire, you know. I
One
would not.
time I have this.
Did you teach him that Bela Lugosi, the Dracula was a vampire? Did you teach him that?
Yeah, no, yeah. And I gave him some candy and all that, and
Halloween.
yeah, it's Halloween.
You taught him about Halloween, right?
Talking about Halloween, I even have an adult class where my adult class, I just went through the Universal monsters. So yeah, thanks a lot, Dad, because actually, you gave me some ideas for some lessons, and a lot of people were interested in it. At least I think,
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Everybody likes
I gave him
something about monsters.
some like movie monster history and why certain. For example, oh, did you know that Frankenstein is actually the name of the scientist? And people
Right.
were shocked. Yeah. Stuff like that. Little
Right.
little movie trivia. So yeah, it's good. Thank you for sending the mask. And
Yeah, I figured
you know what I did?
it would-
I last week we watched Dracula. The kids were kind of like bored with it and didn't think it was that great. But then they watched tonight we watched Frankenstein, and they thought, wow, that was much better than Dracula. So.
Oh, okay.
Well, they can relate to the fact that Frankenstein wasn't really evil. He was just the monster was just
Yeah.
a victim. They could even feel sorry for him at the end. Whereas Dracula, you can't feel sorry for
Yeah.
because he was really evil, as depicted
Mm-hmm.
in the story. Yeah, good. I'm glad. Did you wear your Dracula mask with your children?
Yeah, no. Luke took it with him to his school too. Not school. He took it to the English school he's going to, which we're stopping to go to.
He took the Dracula mask with him?
Yeah.
That's cute. Yeah.
Oh, that's
cute.
fun.
Yeah.
So then he must have appreciated the mask
Yeah, no.
Jason, you were very little, but do you remember one Halloween I wore I have a black velvet cape with a hood, but I also had a skull mask, and I was,
Yeah, I don't like
you
that. Yeah,
yeah, but the
what?
kids were running away from me. They were screaming. I had to take the mask off.
Yeah,
I
that's
remember
the
that.
thing. You like, I think it's like if any little kid sees a mask on an adult, they kind of freak out. So,
Yeah.
Did you
Jason,
wear a mask, a skull mask, Kathy?
I threw it out a
yeah.
long time ago. Oh
Oh,
yeah, I told you that. You may remember that.
Yeah, I
The
do.
kids in Roadway were running away from me while I was taking our kids trick or treating. So I took it off right away because the kids were screaming.
yeah, kid.
Jason,
Yeah.
did you hear about under the category of this can't happen here? You know how some people think certain political situations can't happen here. In New York, in Muncie, in a community, it's a suburb, I guess, and these Jews were gathered in their own house. So a police officer stopped by because he knocked on the door and he said, "You have a lot of cars in front of your house, more than usual, and you can't have this. You have 10 more people
You
than you
can't
should
have more
have
than
in
10
your own
people
home.
in your own home.
That's
Yeah,
just,
In your own
is
home." And they played a tape of the Jews saying, "What do you mean? You know, this is America. It's my house. These people are inside my house, my private property." And the cop says, "No, they have to leave." And I don't know what they did.
unbelievable. It really is.
Isn't that unbelievable? And of course, Murphy and Cuomo are telling you how many people you can have at Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jason, I don't know whether you saw this, but the Orthodox Jews had a Trump caravan in Brooklyn, right?
Yeah, they were attacked.
And they were attacked.
Some of them were actually beaten.
Yeah, anti-Semitism is very strong in the
But
Democratic
it
Party.
really bothered me when I heard that an officer, a police officer, comes by your house, sees more cars than usual, and comes in and tells you your guests have to leave.
Oh,
That
it's
I never
unbelievable.
thought that would happen here. Never.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Now, if I were a police officer, I wouldn't even bother
No, I wouldn't
somebody
do
in their own house.
that. No.
No.
Even if I were told to do so, I would just ignore it. It's
Now-
so stupid.
Now there is another. Wait a minute. Which governor thinks we should all wear a mask, even in our houses at Thanksgiving? Yeah, somebody said that. One of the governors. I don't think it was Murphy. At Thanksgiving, you should wear a mask inside and only take it off when you're eating.
It was probably Whitmer. She's a witch.
Could be her. Yeah.
She's a witch.
So this is very fascistic. I can't even.
You
deal
know,
with it.
have I was listening to Alex Jones' show, and one of his listeners that called in brought up the Milgram experiment. Have you ever heard of the Milgram experiment?
No.
Yeah, I think I have, but refresh my memory.
Okay, the Milgram experiment. What they would do? Let me just hold on one second. There you go. So the Milgram experiment would be where they have someone in a white lab suit would be telling one participant to shock the other participant in the experiment if they got an answer wrong. And
Oh yes, I heard of that.
They would shock him with what?
electricity. But
Yeah.
but the participant that was actually being shocked was actually in on the deal. Like he was part of the experiment. The person that was shocking the person that was being shocked was the actual person being experimented on. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
So basically, what they found out that 65% of people, even though they would feel that what they're doing was wrong, when they have an authority figure in the room saying like, "You have to do this. This is very important for science," or just keep going for it. Even though the other person on the other side, who was an actor basically, in another room, would be screaming, "Please stop, let me out. You can't make me stay here. I want to get out of this. I don't want to do this anymore."
Yeah.
And every time they flicked the switch, the higher the later in the experiment, the votes just kept getting higher. And they found that 65% of the participants would continue doing it, even though that they would kind of say, like, "Hey, this is I don't really want to do this. Am I liable for this? Because the guy sounds like he's really hurting on the other side. No, no, no. Just keep going. Just keep going. This is very
Yeah,
important for the
I
experiment.
remember that.
Yeah, people are
That
willing
was
to
a
do bad
famous
things if they're
experiment.
ordered to do bad
Yep.
things.
So
And
I
in some
mean,
cases, they even take pleasure out of it.
yeah, 65% of them went pretty far all the way to the end of the experiment, and then even they pretend the guy died, and at the end they go, "Oh, don't worry about it." So this is the kind of thing that we're dealing with. Is I think there's a lot of humans out there that just don't really can't
They'll
really
do
think
what
for
they're
themselves.
told, no matter what.
Yeah,
Right.
and it kind of makes me sad actually.
Oh yeah.
Well, they're young people your age and younger. A lot of them are now beginning to move away from Biden towards Trump because they don't like being restrained by all these regulations on their lifestyle.
Yeah, the lockdown crap. Like that's the reason why they need Biden to get in there because they want to continue the lockdowns. Apparently, in Europe, they're really propagandizing it so much, locking down again. They got mask mandates. I mean,
Yeah.
the
They do.
whole
Yep.
reason Americans left Europe was to get away from all that crap.
Yeah, to
But
get
you got,
freedom.
For
yeah,
freedom. Yep.
but you got all these different states that say like, oh, if you want to go shopping, you have to put a thing on your face. And you know what it does? And they say, oh, essential. I hate that word. Oh, essential businesses, essential people, essential. No,
Yeah. Yeah.
everyone
Yeah.
is essential. Everyone's part
Right.
of the economy. If you
Sure.
take out one gear of the economy, that lessens the ability
The
of the
economy
economy
for
to,
everybody.
yeah. So
Absolutely. Right.
everyone's totally essential. You going to a mom and pop restaurant, um, and ordering some food and giving a tip to that woman, and then sales tax goes there. It's all part of the economy. You can't just say shut it down.
Yeah.
This part of the economy is no good, but it affects the whole economy. And the crazy thing is, they told us that, oh, we need to do this to protect everybody. Well, what did we find out? No, it's just killing more people. It's killing more of the third world. Uh,
That's right. The third world, they're dying
yeah, they're
because
dying because the economy's bad in the first world. If the first world's economy's not good, they're
they
not going
can
to get the
start
food that they
starving.
need.
That's right. They can start starving now.
Yeah, yeah, and they can start starving them, and it's absolutely insane. I don't understand what these Democrats are doing. What is Europe doing? I mean, it's obvious now that this is all bullcrap. It's all bullcrap. But you know, I'm here in Japan, and I still see people running around with these masks on, and they're not really thinking about it. At least their economy's still going, but it's just really getting
Well,
to me.
they're not closing down the small businesses in Japan, are they?
No, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think quite a bit of small businesses went out of business because of this lockdown crap, and
Oh, you had a lockdown in Japan?
we
And they
no,
closed
we
down the
kind of
small businesses?
they said please, basically, please don't go outside, please stay home, please,
Oh, so less people went to the small businesses
yeah,
and they
and
moved to the internet to buy things.
yeah, that's the thing, yeah, and it's totally beneficial for these internet companies. And
Yeah,
that's
why
why,
would you
like,
want to rule the
when you
world?
I remember during the
Private
time of
Virgin rules
the
the world.
lockdown, you go to any website, they had this little thing about, oh, COVID-19, COVID-19, get all your latest information there. We're just reminding
Yep.
you.
Yep. Even my phone always
Yeah, yeah,
pops up. COVID this, COVID that. They are so obsessed with it. That's all they can think of. All they can talk about. And it's just
Well,
no,
it's good
it
for
was used as a
internet
tool.
business.
Yeah, it's used
That's
as
what it is.
yeah,
But
that's
they're
exactly
robbing the
right.
small businessman.
Exactly. Dad, you got it.
They're
That's exactly what's
they're sucking
happening.
away the life of Main Street America, so the billionaires can get richer. During this entire pandemic thing, the rich have gotten richer and the middle class people have gotten poorer.
It's totally
The
true,
middle
yeah.
class small businessman has gotten poorer, and many people have lost their businesses.
Not on top of that, you know what? You know what? Also, I'm thinking about. in Europe and other countries, it's easier to do this kind of things. But then you got all the Muslims coming in from poorer countries, and they're just letting them in. But they're saying that indigenous people, the people that've been living there with their families their whole lives in European countries, you have to stay home. If you go outside, you're going to be arrested, and you have to pay a fine, and so on and so forth. So what do they do in America? Well, they do the American version. They have Black Lives Matter. They have Antifa going around burning stuff down, and they have destroying all these businesses here and left and everywhere you go. So it's kind of obviously planned. I mean, or instigated. This is a whole battle plan against America, and yeah, that's what's going on.
That's why China let the virus out of their country.
Yeah, they let the virus out of their country. They say you wear the mask.
Going the rest of China by stopping people from Wuhan to travel to the rest of China, but they allowed people from Wuhan to travel around the world.
But you have to understand that.
So the economy of
right.
other countries would go down, and China's economy eventually would go up.
Right, but the thing is also that I think. Oh, I still got the desktop audio. Hello?
It's not an unintended consequence. It's deliberate.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you know that somebody from a city in your country will spread the disease in your country, and you says, no, you can't go to the rest of the country, but you can go to other countries, then you know that you are deliberately spreading the virus.
Right.
And
so,
the nations of the world that are suffering from it, they act like they don't even realize that China did them in. It's not accidental, Jason.
No, it's not accidental at all. But what I'm saying, there's a combination that's going on here because they knew that they couldn't just do the virus thing. When they do the virus thing, they also have to do the race riot thing. And they use the virus thing to say, oh, you have to stay home so they could screw up the whole American election system. And China has definitely been studying American history. It's like 101 anthropology. What did England do when they went to Africa? They would go to find certain tribes that hated each other and carve the crap out of Africa to take the resources. And that's exactly what China has been doing for decades. They've been studying our country. They found out what's going on. They say, okay, well,
America. Found out what made our economy great, and they imitated some of the devices we use to grow our economy in our own country.
No, not only that, but they also are like, okay, well, America has a history of slavery. There's some problems in the past with black people and white people, and then also you have the Hispanics in the South, and we can co-opt these Democrats. They want more power. We give them more money. They'll support our ideas. We take over Hollywood. We release this fake virus. We go into the school system.
Playing a large role in bankrolling the Biden election campaign.
Yeah.
And it's all the guys who are making millions of dollars in China, Americans, are pouring millions of dollars into Biden's campaign, like the former mayor.
And you know what? This whole remember Russia, Dad? Remember Russia. I really think at this point that was also the Chinese thinking of that. They wanted to get the American people thinking about Russia because look at American history. We had a Cold War with Russia, so they want to give us their minds off.
Russia thing started with Hillary.
No. Hillary is a Chinese agent. Don't you understand? Communist Chinese agent. They're all Chinese communist agents. Okay, so what better way to get the American public eyes off of China, even though Trump's saying China, than to focus them on people's fuzzy history in America? Oh yeah, that's right. The Russians. We used to fight with the Russians. I heard something about that. Oh yeah, you're a Russian agent. I remember in the movies we were fighting the Russians. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't understand. Soviets. Yeah, the Soviets, which are basically have not much power against us anymore. But the thing is, what I'm saying is that the Chinese are very good at finding about a certain their anthropology skills and in their ability to research the history of certain nations and use it to their advantage is very good. They're brilliant. They're actually very cunning, very brilliant enemies. Like it's gotten to the point where like I could have this conversation with you guys, my mother and father, but I talk to some other people, they don't get it. There's a lot of people don't get it. They don't even understand what's going on. But
No, no, they don't.
Well, what about the your Japanese friends? Don't they realize that?
oh yeah, my Japanese friend, my Japanese
China
wife.
tried to conquer
Oh,
Japan.
yeah, no, they understand. No, the Japanese are aware what's going on for sure. Yeah, we know what's going on here. There's a lot, but there's a lot of Japanese that just like, oh, put on the mask and everything will be okay. A lot of people are not thinking. A lot of people, but the people that who are thinking, understand what's going on.
Mm.
And it's amazing though because they really went for it all very quickly, and I think that was a reaction to Trump. They had all these things in the ideas in the background, but they just threw it all out there because America was not supposed to have like a better economy. America was not supposed to be bringing jobs back to America and moving all the manufacturing back to America. That was not supposed to happen. They were supposed to continue to have these factories in China with no regulations, spewing shitty air into the system, while in America they destroy it with a Paris Accord and so on and so forth. They're angry, and all pharmaceutical companies are angry at Trump lowering the prices of drugs. And if you're just paying attention and you do your own research and look into it, then you know. But it's really hard to talk. I mean, I lost a couple of friends over this crap. I
Really?
did.
Then they must not be good friends.
No, they're not.
Yeah, and there's one friend that I had that I now don't even want to talk to. I don't want to be like that, but she voted for Biden. She's a former history teacher. She was always a Democrat, but when I said to her, I mean, she was a Democrat. Her father was a Democrat, but
Well, she's a Democrat too.
yeah, she is a Democrat, but she did vote for Trump 4 years ago, and she says now she voted for Biden, and it's his personality, it's his tweets, and healthcare is very big with us. That we're, we, as a teacher, former teacher, your father and I have Cadillac health plans. When I went to the surgical center for one of my kidney stones, they even said to me, "Is this your card? Because this is a Cadillac plan. This is so good. How did you get this?" I went to different doctors, and the nurses always said, the receptionist, "Oh my God, how did you get this plan?" So I said, "Betty Ann," that's the woman's name. I said, "What about our health care?" She says, "I know, but I don't like Trump." I said, "Betty Ann, did you like getting money back on your taxes?" She says, "I know, but I don't like his personality."
No.
So this infuriates me when you can't put somebody's personality and just put that aside and think of the issues. But they don't think of the issues. And when she kept saying to me, "I know," in other words, she was saying everything I said was true. And she was a history teacher. And everything I said was true, but she just doesn't like him. And that blows my mind. That blows
the
my
mass
mind.
media attacks his personality, and these not too bright Democrats swallow the "I don't like his personality."
Yeah. But some women are so prissy. They get so prissy. "Oh, I don't like the way he talks." That just drives me nuts. It just
Yeah.
drives,
mostly
drives me nuts.
the Democratic suburbanite women who are troublesome, and some of the independent women in the suburbs. They're difficult to get.
Right. Well,
But I can tell you, I told you this year, far more people come up to me and said they like my hat or they like my
Well, see
shirt.
what happens. It's the fraud. It's the cheating on these paper ballots. If voting were the same, it always was in the machine. Trump would win. But they got all these paper ballots floating all over the place. People are losing them, deep sixing them. Certain areas didn't get their ballots.
The situation.
And the COVID made everybody frightened as hell. And the Democrats, a lot of them are still saying it didn't even come from China. They just refuse.
And some of the,
Yeah.
but I'll tell you this: one woman came up to me and said, "I'm praying for Trump."
Yeah.
Yes, sir. She came up to me and said, "I'm praying for Trump."
No, yeah, they say it's
Well, you
the
remember
Trump
Bob Brune's
virus.
wife. She's a good Catholic. She says her rosary. She prays for Trump using her rosary beads. I said, "Good for you, Ann." So we'll.
Can
We'll
can you
see
give
what
me a
happens.
second? I gotta go for a second. Can you give me
Yeah.
toilet break?
Oh.
All right, well, you should hang up then. You can call back.
All right, no, it's okay. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Inclusive voter fraud
I'm gonna watch.
organization in the history of American politics. Secondly, we're in a situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our administration, the President Obama's administration before this. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics. Secondly, we're in a situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our administration, the President Obama's administration before this. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics. Secondly, we're in a situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our administration, the President Obama's administration before this. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics. Secondly, we're in a situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our administration, the President Obama's administration before this. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics. Secondly, we're in a situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our administration, the President Obama's administration before this. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics. Secondly, we're in a situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our administration, the President Obama's administration before this. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics. Secondly, we're in a situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our administration, the President Obama's administration before this. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics. Secondly, we're in a situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our administration, the President Obama's administration before this. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics. Secondly, we're in a situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our administration, the President Obama's administration before this. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud.
Hello?
Yes, Jason. I'm here.
Yeah, so Biden basically said that his party has made the most exclusive voter fraud system ever in American history.
Extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization.
Something like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
he did.
yeah, voter
he
fraud
messed
extensive.
up on saying it. Then there was a tape of him saying something, and at the end, this was just yesterday, and we were listening to it last night. he totally so fumbled something. It was so unintelligible. His sentence was completely his words were fumbled, like he didn't even badly forming his words. I don't know. Do you think during the debates, I thought his eyes looked weird. Do you think he was on something?
Which
Did you
debate?
notice the debate he had with Trump, the last one? I thought Biden's eyes
The
looked
first one, I
kind of
thought
weird.
his eyes looked weird too. The first one, I didn't. The
No,
second one,
yeah, I thought his eyes looked weird. The second one, maybe it's just me. Yeah,
the
I
first
don't
one,
know.
I thought his eyes looked weird. I had to watch it again. The second one, um, he
Yeah,
was just full of shit, though. I mean, the guy is
yeah,
full of it, and
yeah, he is.
nope. It's really telling that the news media will not even ask him about what's going on with his son and the deals.
Well,
It's
the news
absolutely
media
crazy.
and
It's absolutely
and
crazy.
the guy that runs Twitter with the beard, he looked like he looked like a deer in the headlights because when they confronted him and when Ted Cruz was asking him some questions, oh, I'll have to get back to you on that. I don't know.
Right.
What the media is doing. There's this law, the 230 um, legislation that protects them from being sued. That's what the Republicans are trying to get overturned. That was instituted when the internet was very, very new, and it was a small business. It was a small business, and they wanted to protect them so they could express themselves freely without fear of being sued. But
Hmm.
so they could grow. But now the internet, social media has taken control of everybody's, not everybody, but a good percentage of American brain, and it's very, very, very dangerous. And it's just, and the idea of the free press. We have a friend who turned out he's a liberal now, and he was kind of leaning that way, but he said to us, now this was his version of a free press, that the press should just be free to suppress any information that it wants to just print whatever they want.
Who said that?
Ed, remember that note he sent us when he sent us a book at Christmas?
Oh, I didn't know he said that.
It was in his note. He said a free press should be just that, free without trying to be fair and print both sides. In other words, free to just do what it wants to do.
Well, they should be free to say what they want to say.
No, but like journalism, I get some of these people on radio and TV that are still journalists, and the older people said when they went to journalism school in college, that was their major. They were taught to how to give both sides.
If you give a news report.
Right, but now in journalism classes, they're taught how to propagandize, how to convince the reader of basically your own point of view.
And what is supposed to be a straight news story.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're a reporter, you're supposed to do both sides.
See, when we were in school, I don't know how many years, over
50 years
60
ago.
years ago, Jason, okay?
Yeah.
We were taught that a news article should, if there are 2 points of views or 3 points of view, you're supposed to give all points of views in the news article. Nowadays, they don't do that. In many of the major publications like the New York Times and the Washington Post, it's just one point of view. And then they suppress news that is unfavorable to their point of view.
What do you think? What do you think about Julian Assange? Do you think he should be pardoned? I mean, if you think about Julian Assange, exposed a lot of stuff, and maybe if he was around, all this Biden stuff would have been done a long time ago. I mean,
your father and I differed on that, but
But you think about Giuliani coming out with all this stuff. Giuliani, I don't know if he's really that skilled to release this stuff, but Assange probably would have released it already. We're already getting reports that Hunter Biden is compromised by the Chinese, and on that laptop there's videos of him abusing girls, little girls, and having sex with Chinese girls. But the problem is
Yeah,
that
because the Chinese are blackmailing them.
yeah, but that's apparently what's going on, and people have this information, but they don't want to share it, and they don't know what to do because they don't want to release that because if
Well,
they
the
share
release,
it,
well,
it's
it's like
child
Fox
porn.
News. They won't show him naked in the bathtub, smoking coke. They won't, or crack rather, crack. And they won't show him copulating with a girl while he's smoking crack, because that's considered to be off color.
But yeah, but apparently
But,
there's
so
more videos of him
they
actually.
don't know what to do about the little Chinese girls. Some people have reported that, but the mass media doesn't show it, or even much they say there are certain
That's
things
basically the job of
they,
the FBI,
like
right?
Tucker Carlson, he said there are things that I wouldn't mention which have nothing to do with politics, but these things I will. Well, what would you not mention?
Well, Giuliani just came out the other day and said, someone, I'm not sure, it was some other journalists said to him like, "Oh, you're kind of acting like Steele," and he got really angry. He was like, "I'm
What
not
do you mean acting like Steele? What does that mean?
Steele, the Steele dossier, like acting like."
Yeah.
It's like he's saying like you're acting like that. He's like, "What are you talking about? I have the information. You come to my office. I will show you Biden having sex with young Chinese girls. I have it. If you want to see, I have it." So I mean,
Yeah, it's not like the Steele dossier. The Steele dossier was fiction, made up.
yeah.
Yeah, totally made up.
Whereas everything that Giuliani is releasing is actually factual and fully documented and verified. All you have to do is look at.
And that guy Jack that runs Twitter, he's full of shit, and it's really sad. I mean, I watched Jack Dorsey. I watched.
He and the Facebook guy, they're both liars.
Yeah, I watched Ted Cruz grill him, which was good, but Ted Cruz doesn't know that he's deleted also just a bunch of little guys. Like, I'm a little guy. He deleted my account because I shared the article. I can't get back into my account. I lost a lot of people that I was friends with on Twitter. I can't get back there. It's never gonna happen. I had to make a new account. And when I did make my new account, I put a picture of Trump as my profile picture. And as soon as I did that, my account was deleted. So, so I had to make another account. I can't even put
yourself. You had Trump's.
No, I had a picture of the picture I have on this broadcast I'm right now is a picture of Trump taking off the mask when he's on the balcony. I like that picture.